Well, we've got a laundry list for the Eagles injury report. Fortunately, Lane Johnson sounds like he's playing, but DeVonta Smith may miss out, meaning we could see Julio Jones this weekend, but what's he saying about his role? Plus, with Reed Blankenship's injury not trending in the right direction, Sidney Brown may finally get his chance to start. What's Sean Desai's plan and his message for the Miami Dolphins? But first, let's run it. What's up, guys? In case anyone's new to the channel, I'm Josh and I cover the birds. So let's start with the news that the Eagles have applied for the trademark of brotherly shove with the intention of selling merchandise such as clothing, hats, and hoodies. Oh yeah, and like Chris pointed out, now every time a team tries and fails it, the birds will get paid. Like, for example, whenever Dallas attempted to run it against San Diego but fell short.
And that is Dallas.
Yeah, well, what'd you expect? Although somewhat surprisingly, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones supports the brotherly shove, saying, "I'm all for it and I like the play," and also that he won't vote for it to be banned next season. Wow, I almost don't know what to say. I wouldn't have expected that, to be honest. However, another thing I didn't expect was for Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson to return from injury so quickly, especially considering how gingerly Lane appeared to be walking on the sidelines after he had his ankle rolled up on. But thankfully, Brian Baldinger went on Pardon My Take, saying he's been spending time at Lane Johnson's bro barn to hang out and get a workout in, and that Lane's moving really well and there are no concerns that the all-pro tackle will miss Sunday Night Football. Which is obviously fantastic news if you believe that. After all, Lane was listed as a DNP at practice, but knowing what we do about Lane, I'd say it's likely he's good to go. And thank goodness, because the Jack Driscoll experience against the Jets is about all I can take, and the upgrade back to Lane is incalculable. I mean, come on, you've got to go all the way back to when Travis Fulgham was the Eagles wide receiver 1 as the last time that Pave the Lane gave up a sack, which honestly, I still have a hard time even fathoming that. Yet, not gonna lie, it was also a little surprising that Philly signed former All-Pro receiver Julio Jones. Like D. Gunn said, "I'm just shocked they went out and got Julio Jones. I don't know how much he's going to be adding to this team, to be honest with you. I hope it works out for them, but I have my reservations about Julio at this stage of his career." All right, realistically, I've also been wondering how much the 34-year-old has left, and it sounds like he's ready to prove all the doubters wrong.
Oh, no. My mindset is definitely to dominate. Don't get it twisted. I'm here to dominate, but I'm saying, like, they have the guys are already here. They solidified and they're in their positions, right? So, like, wherever they need me to go and be, I'm going to do that at my best of my ability.
At this point in your career, how much do you feel like you have left?
Have left? I just keep watching. I ain't gonna make no expectations. Just keep watching, and I can show you. We'll revisit this question. All right.
Okay, I can't deny that I love that fire and attitude. By the way, in case you didn't notice, Julio decided to go with number 80 for anyone who's counting. But despite some declining numbers like I talked about on a previous video, it's worth pointing out that Julio played 26.9% of the snaps in the slot in 2022 and didn't drop a single pass on 53 targets. Jones also played really well against Dallas in the wildcard game, showing that he may not be as good as he once was, but like the song goes, he can possibly be as good once as he ever was, catching 7 passes on 11 targets for 74 yards and a touchdown. So that's why I say I think this is a good signing that I hope turns into a great signing. But as we all know, GM Howie Roseman's not done. Although we can cross off Jeremy Chinn, with Adam Schefter reporting that Chinn is dealing with a significant quad injury that doesn't require surgery, but it is expected to sideline him for up to 6 weeks. And I hate it for a number of reasons, since most of y'all have heard me continue to suggest that we go after Chinn. Yet I'd be more than happy with a Justin Simmons, because it's not much of a secret how good Simmons has been, racking up 3 second-team All-Pro selections over the last 4 seasons, and having a PFF grade of 70 or higher in 6 of his 7 years in the league. Except I know I've seen some comments about how poorly Simmons is playing, and you're not necessarily wrong, although I feel like it's more to do with the Denver Broncos being awful than a decline in Simmons. But a potential acquisition also doesn't hurt that Simmons has played under Vic Fangio, so adjusting to a Sean Desai defense that utilizes quite a few Fangio concepts wouldn't be that difficult. But curious to get y'all's thoughts on Simmons, and now with Chinn off the table, who are some other options you like? Yes, I suppose we can keep the dream alive for Budda Baker, although it doesn't seem too realistic. However, since the 21-day practice squad activation took place, he's now going to be off IR soon and potentially available for a trade. But either way, making a move for safety is still probably a week away, so the question is, in the near term, what are the Eagles going to do at safety? Especially when you look at the official injury report the Birds released, suggesting Reed Blankenship's status for Sunday isn't looking great.
Damn. We're in a tight spot.
Okay, it's not necessarily ideal. However, the good news is that rookie Sidney Brown got in a full practice for the first time since injuring his hamstring against the Bucs in week 3. So with Blankenship in doubt and other starting safety Justin Evans on IR, the Rook appears likely to get his first start, but he's ready for it.
Next man up there. We got some older guys that have done a lot of good things, and unfortunately it's going to be we are kind of, ticking with the injury, but you just got to be prepared. You never know when your name's going to be called, but this is something that I've been preparing for, so if my name is called, then I'll be ready to go.
I'm ready to see it, and I think most of us are. After all, this dude's just different when he's on the field. Although I'm not sure there's a tougher game if he does end up starting than the one this week, since the Dolphins come in as the #1 offense in the NFL by a long shot. For instance, the Eagles have the second best offense this season, but the Dolphins are averaging over 100 yards more per game than the Birds, and will most likely be targeting the 23-year-old, because like Shane Half pointed out, 54% of Tua's passes have gone over the middle under 20 yards this season. When targeting that area, he's completed 85% of his passes for 10.2 yards per attempt, saying, "I would like to see the Eagles play a lot more zone coverage and try to take away that first read over the middle." Perfect. I wouldn't want it any other way, and neither would the Rook.
I want to be a feared player. That's kind of my mindset going into this. But then again, I just play with that intensity every single day. I mean, you're going to connect at some point, and you're going to feel it. You know what I mean? I don't want to. My intention isn't to hurt people, but if you're carrying that football, you got it coming for you.
I expect Brown to play well, but as we all know, it's not going to be easy since Miami has the top-ranked quarterback, running back, and wide receiver in the league. And good for them. That doesn't bother Sydney, though.
We got to play on the same field as them, right? So, we got a good game plan going in, and again, I'm confident. I'm confident what we're going to do, and again, yes, they're a very talented team, but we're going to do everything in our power to stop that explosive offense.
I don't know. I love the energy, but how are you guys feeling? I mean, it's clearly a tough matchup, but thankfully reports suggest Slay will be back at corner, and Jalen Carter is trending in the right direction. Plus, Eli Ricks was a full participant, so escaped any major injury when he hyperextended his knee on Sunday. But sure, defensive coordinator Sean Desai has no doubt got his work cut out for him, although he shared part of the plan for counteracting the Finns' speed.
One thing that we always want to pride ourselves on defense is playing physical, and in my experience, even going back to my days at Temple and we were coaching special teams, speed can hurt you, but physicality can hurt speed, and so we want to be able to try to counteract that. We want to be able to swarm the ball carriers and run and make sure we're around the ball as much as we can be and bring in a lot of bodies around the ball, to try to get back to creating some turnovers and getting the ball out as well.
Okay, look, I know they say speed kills, but I actually think that we can keep Miami off balance with the physicality and toughness to create some turnovers, which quite frankly would be nice to see since it's been since week 3 that we got one of those. Personally, I think it starts with limiting the Dolphins' running game, and I agree that setting a strong edge and forcing the Dolphins' running game up the middle is paramount for success Sunday, since 75% of the Dolphins' rushing attempts have been outside runs where they're a lot more effective. However, on inside runs, they're just about average. Come on, there's really no reason we can't do that with the dudes we got on the D-line, especially the way Josh Sweat's been playing in the run defense. But Sweaty J's been just as impressive, if not more impressive, in the pass rush, with the Inquirer's Jeff McClain saying Josh Sweat has been the Eagles' most consistent D lineman through 6 games and is making an early case for an All-Pro nod. He's second in the NFL with 31 pressures behind only Cowboys' Micah Parsons, and he's 4th with 12 quarterback hits behind only 49ers' Nick Bosa, the Steelers' TJ Watt, and the Browns' Myles Garrett, which is obviously select company. Now, Sweat only has 3.5 sacks, but informed observers are paying notice. He has the complete set of tools. Again, I think this could be the great equalizer. However, as Brandon Lee Gouton points out, the Eagles' defensive line is capable of generating pressure to help cover up concerns on the back end. However, the problem is that Tua is very good at making quick decisions to get the ball out fast, since he has the quickest average time to throw at 2.32 seconds. Jalen Hurts, meanwhile, has the NFL's second slowest release time, only ahead of notorious ball holder Justin Fields. Accordingly, the Dolphins are tied for allowing the fewest sacks this year. There's no denying the Eagles are in a tough spot right now with their injury situation, but to suggest that they're hopeless just because they're lost to the Jets is overreactionary. This Eagles team is flawed, but they are good and they've been tough to beat for a long stretch of time now. They're not going to back down without a fight, especially at home for the Kelly Green debut game. I mean, was that even a question? Of course, we are going to have to still score quite a bit to keep up. However, that challenge could be without DeVonta Smith, who didn't practice due to a hamstring.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay, hold on. It's obviously not the best of signs. However, it was just a walkthrough, so hopefully it's not a significant injury or maybe even just precautionary. Yet, like I referenced earlier, hamstrings can take a while, so not really anything to play around with. But let's wait until we get the official injury report later on until we start hitting the panic button. Let's go. Kelly Green week, and I can't wait to be in Philly for this one. I'm confident we get back on track and put another one in the win column. This has been the Philly Special.